Hi, I'm Jake, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Sherwood's 12-inch hybrid cabinet table saw. Before we get into it, I'm sure a lot of you are asking the question, what exactly is a hybrid table saw? The basic gist of it, in layman's terms, is that a hybrid saw is essentially just an upgraded version of a contractor's saw. Now, anybody who's used a contractor's saw or a job site saw knows it's, in relative terms, it's quite light in comparison to a heavy-duty cabinet saw. It has an open stand. The fence setup is quite lightweight as well, which doesn't give you the opportunity for as precise cuts as some of you need. So this may be the option for you. Contractor saws have the saw carriage mounted underneath the top, so it's all just one solid unit. It will have a cast alloy extension wings, and it will have a fairly lightweight rip fence as well. They'll almost always have an open stand too. This is to increase the maneuverability, increase your portability, makes it easy to move around. What you lose in that, you lose in reliability, you gain vibration, which makes it much less rigid, which means that the cuts that come off your saw are much less clean. Now, cabinet saws are much more robust. They have a lot more cast iron, a lot more heavy-duty components to them. They have a trunnion system that the saw carriage is mounted to, which distributes the weight and the vibration throughout the cabinet. Now, what this means is that there is almost no vibration whatsoever. Your cuts are incredibly precise, incredibly clean. It means that you've got a lot less time mucking around, cleaning up after yourself. Now, contractor saws and cabinet saws have a large gulf between them. What a hybrid table saw achieves is bridging that gap. For example, it has the saw carriage mounted underneath the top, but it is distributed through a type of trunnion system that distributes the vibration. So it won't do it as effectively as a cabinet saw, but it will definitely mitigate it a lot more than you'll get out of a contractor saw. And that's a pretty basic explanation of the difference between a contractor saw, a cabinet saw, and the hybrid that tries to bridge the gap between the two. Now let's get down to the specs. Carriage itself is solid cast iron, which means that the bevel gauge and height adjustment is very smooth and very seamless. It also has an upgraded fence system, which means that it is much more sturdy than a contractor's rip fence. Increased rigidity just means that it is going to be much more stable as the timber passes through the fence, and you'll spend a lot less time cleaning up after yourself and after the saw. As most contractors' saws, or at least every one that I'm aware of on the market, only has the capacity for a 10-inch or 250mm blade. This hybrid boasts a capacity for 300mm diameter blades. This unit itself also has the ability to receive a dado stack up to 12mm thick. Having that extra blade capacity essentially just means that you have access to a plethora of different saw blades. We have a ton of videos on our YouTube page telling you exactly what the differences are in tooth profile. It's very extensive. I would highly encourage you to check it out because you might learn something that would make this decision for you. It comes with a solid cast iron top with solid cast iron extension wings. The table surface moves out to 1030mm by approximately 690mm. It comes with an upgraded rip fence as well, with a ripping capacity of up to approximately 830mm. So that means that if you do find that you have to rip up some sheets of manufactured board, then you can at least rip them in half and then some. It has a pretty impressive depth of cut with a 300mm blade in it of up to approximately 105mm. So if you do find that you need to rip anything up to approximately 200mm in half, you can feed it through one way at 100 and then flip it over and feed it through the other side. It's an 1800 watt or approximately 2.5 horsepower motor. It runs off a 15 amp plug. So if you are looking to invest in it, make sure that you get a qualified electrician out to your premises to check that it's compatible. It will also tilt down to 45 degrees and the tabletop comes standard with 2 inbuilt miter slots. As you can see, this is a marriage of a contractor's and cabinet saw, so it has an open cabinet stand underneath. They are quite heavy, obviously a lot of solid cast iron to reduce vibration, but as you can see with the one that we've got here today, you can easily just chuck them straight onto a mobile base. So if you do have a small workshop and you need to move it around, you still can. Now the arbor on this as standard is a 5/8 arbor, or 15.9 millimeters for you people who have been born after the 15th century. It also boasts an impressive sized stop button at the front on your left. So if you are feeding material through and you need to hold onto it, just give it a kick with your knee and it's right there. Down front you have got your height adjustment, which as I said will go up to 105 approximately millimeters with a 300mm blade. And on the side you have your bevel tilting wheel, which will go down to 45 degrees. Now, if you've gotten to this part of the video and you're wondering whether or not this is the saw that will help you or assist you in the work that you're going to be doing, and you can't afford a sliding table or panel saw like an Altendorf or a Martin or an SEM, this may be something worth looking into. With the capacity for a 300mm blade, you will find an absolute cornucopia of saw blades that you wouldn't have had access to if you had only a 250mm blade capacity. Whereas if you would like to have the capacity to rip some larger material, it's definitely an option that I would highly recommend. Like I said, if you chuck a mobile base underneath it, it is still a very maneuverable saw itself. So anybody who's working out of a smaller workshop like your garage or the back shed, it's a very good option if you need something that's going to give you a very precise cut and you can still push it out of the way. That's it for another video. So for more information, hit all the links below, like, share and subscribe to the page and help us grow, and we will see you on the next video.